What's up, guys? Another fixed blade video for you, the Gentleman Fixed Blade series. So,
Now, what would a gentleman fixed blade be, though?
yeah, it's got to be dressy. It's got to be small. It's got to be awesome.
It's actually a pretty challenging blade, but
It was actually the hardest for us to come up with. There are very, very few that would fit in such a narrow category to be a gentleman fixed blade.
Right.
Because I've got here's some LT Wright that's there, some Bark River that's there, but those are really more outdoorsy. They're not actually gentlemen. Like
right,
they don't because dressed to impress.
right. They don't have the kind of, not that it has to be high end, but they don't have the allure of a nice knife.
Yeah, they don't. They're very more function over form.
Right.
And I think that gentleman carry is definitely has to be functional. I mean, it's a pocket knife, but at the end of the day, it might need to be a little smaller, a little slimmer. I was going for not having a belt loop.
Right.
Or if it was going to have a belt loop, it had to be like maybe integrated into the sheath or as a flat.
Like a knife that would be able to be carried like inside a sport coat or in the pocket of a vest.
Yes, or your front of your slacks, and it wouldn't imprint much, right? So I think there's a lot to it there. But man, let's jump in. I'm pretty excited.
But first, you guys should probably like, subscribe, ding the bell so you're notified every time we drop a new video, and comment down below.
I have a bell coming.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. So one of our future videos, you'll have a bell. We'll see how that works with the mic. It should be interesting. I guess we're going to start at the top of the heap, and because we have three today.
How we do this is we go into our collection. We're not saying this is the best knife for this. This is the best knife that we own for this. And we just discuss kind of the mindset behind carrying a knife like this in the kind of category we're talking about.
I'll say with this, though, that you're gonna be hard pressed to find much better than what we're bringing you, because there really isn't a ton of thought process. Now, one of the pieces that was interesting is, and we're probably talking too long, but the Etsy world with American fixed blades that are pocket, there's quite a bit out there for that.
Small batch guys.
Yeah, and so you could get some traction there. I wanted to bring something more production, more easy to find, and less of that kind of Etsy rabbit hole.
Right.
But you could do it on Etsy, and it looks like there could be some quality stuff. I don't know, but I kind of wanted to stay established.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
So what do you got? You got two there. Well, I assume an honorable mention and a...
Yeah, so I'll get one, because I think for this one it's nice because we have three tiers. We kind of have sort of a more high-end manufactured knife, and then we have mid-level, and then I got a budget that's actually really sweet. Believe it or not. So, so here we go. This is the Chou, I would assume. It's pronounced. We'll look it up. But this is the Rockstead. Chou. Yes.
Could be Chow.
However, exactly. So this is a DLC coated, mirror polished, brown.
Okay, you've held it already. I want to see it.
Yeah, that's definitely Grail. It's for its size, it's a 1.8 inch blade, but you know what? It's so swept. It's extremely functional. Yeah.
That's not,
and it comes with a little Kydex sheath. But what's neat is, you know what? The Kydex sheath is, and I wasn't hot on that. I wanted leather. I'm actually going to send it to Gromit's Leathercraft. I've gotten some stuff from them. They do great work out in California. And they're like, yeah, send us the knife and we'll make a custom sheath for it. It's worth doing that. But this Kydex is perfectly formed. I mean, when we do the B-roll, I've never seen Kydex this perfectly formed.
This is a small knife, guys.
This is tiny.
But man, it is something.
It is something to behold, isn't it?
Now, give a little bit of background on Rockstead, because some of you guys who are watching this might be a knife guy and have never even heard of Rockstead. Because it is kind of the upper echelon of knives. But what is it about them that makes them special?
Yeah, so, and one of the things is mirror polishing. The mirror polish on this, you can see yourself as clear as a mirror.
Yeah.
Now that can be a whole discussion. I won't spend too much time on it, but basically they do two things exceptionally well. They take a steel, and their steel that they use, they maximize it. And Josh, go ahead and pull up, if you don't mind, your phone real quick. Rockstead. Actually, I may have it here. But yeah, pull that up real quick, because the two steels that they use, and it may even have it here in the pamphlet.
What are you looking for? The type
Oh,
of
here
steel?
it comes.
Oh, nice.
Sorry. YXR7.
Never even heard of it.
Yep. And it's a Hitachi steel. So I chose the YXR7.
No, this is a Japanese company, correct?
This is a Japanese company, and it may only come in YXR7. YXR7 is tougher, and the other steel that they use is actually potentially brittle. It's like a 67 hardness. This one is around 65. And that's what they do. They take the performance to the max with their steel, and the mirror polish is the second thing.
That's a pretty knife.
Yeah. So the mirror polish is a big deal because they have to do it hand ground. And so, you start at like 400, then you go to 600, 800, 1,000, 2,000. And then as you do that, if you mess any of it up and you don't get the grind right, you have to start over with the previous process and get that smoothed out. It's really, really hard to do.
And so, guys, obviously this is not going to be a self-defense knife. This is going to be kind of a multi-use fixed blade. But the whole idea, I mean, this is a perfect gentleman carry.
Yes,
it's very small. And when you pull it out, it's very nice.
The only downside is they don't make a leather sheath. I believe a gentleman carry knife should have something gentlemanly included in the sheath. This little Kydex is the best Kydex execution I've ever seen.
It does pick up fingerprints easy.
It's going to do that for sure, but because it's DLC, it will clean up. And it comes with a little microfiber cloth, I believe, in the box. But this right here, then you can look at the execution on that sheath.
Well, and it's just such a, I mean, you can neck carry this guy.
Yeah, and that's really kind of what
it
it's
is
designed
perfectly formed.
But I want leather.
Excellent.
I just want it to be a pocket knife. So pretty exciting stuff. This is an amazing blade.
Well, I mean, golly,
and it's a little chunky too. It's
that's
like
the size. That's a full size, not a full size knife. It's a small knife, but it's a fixed blade that's smaller than some folding scales.
Well, that's true.
Or some folder scales.
Yeah, that's right. And so you can have it kind of in the same place, especially if you get a leather sheath for it that's nice and compact and square. It'll impress even less.
Especially if you can get one that'll take it in a little bit.
Yeah, and the lanyard. Look at the lanyard hole. Has a little copper fitting in there, which is just a really nice touch.
It's a very high-end knife. Now, granted, so what's a knife like this run?
Yeah, this knife I think is $360.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of money for a small knife, but it definitely shows the quality is 100%.
It's impeccable. It's beautiful, and
I think this might be the only Rockstead that we've had.
Yes.
Here.
Yeah. They're difficult to get, and then you also have to be able to justify the cost. But also, the blade sweep is so significant that the cutting edge is. You're going to be way above food and things like that for the office, doing, maybe letter opening.
That's a cigar knife there.
It's definitely a cigar knife. This is a conversation piece. Look, it has jimping on the Kydex for you to pop it off.
Well, that's one of those things. Now, this is gentleman carry. So when you're carrying this, you're going to be in an event probably. You're going to be in mixed company, maybe a business meeting over drinks or cigars. So when you pull this knife out, it's going to be classy. It's going to be a conversation piece. Yes. Because one thing that I've noticed about gentleman carry knives is it's all in the details. Yes. So it's not just a knife. It's a knife that's got pizzazz. It's got features that you can discuss.
I agree.
That's a great knife there.
Yeah, it's a cool conversation piece. You start to do a bit of research on the just the manufacturing of it. One of the complaints that I've always had as a knife enthusiast is the heat treat on knives are too soft. Like if it's capable of running 61, they're playing it really safe by putting it at 58, and I think that that was really exposed by Love Them Knives. LTK did a great job of sending stuff in, high-end stuff of quality, and doing the metallurgy tests and also doing the HRC, and stuff on average comes back really low, and I think it's a shame. What I love about this is they tell you what the HRC is, and they actually heat treat this for maximum performance. right? You're not throwing this into a tree. It's not for that. This
No.
isn't for beating up. It's not a cold
It's
steel.
not a bushcraft knife.
It's not. That's not the purpose of the knife. This is a slicey, dicey knife that holds an edge for an extreme amount of time, and you shouldn't be whacking it against hard surfaces. The
Right.
HRC is really, really high.
The hardest thing this knife should ever come in contact with is a plate.
Yes, exactly. And the other knife is actually the other steel that they use. They say not. It's actually a carbon steel.
Mm.
This is, I believe it's stainless or really close to a stainless steel. But the carbon steel that they have is acceptable to a higher hardness, but they say it will cut a plate and it will also chip out if you hit it against, hard surfaces because it's not a super durable edge. As far as toughness, it's just extremely sharp and slicey dicey. And so this is actually the YXR7 is more durable, and that's actually what I like about this is that it has the more durable steel to it. So when you use it for stuff, if it comes in contact with aluminum or a plate, or sometimes, we're over at my father-in-law's house, I'll cut through the food, and sometimes it'll even cut through the paper plate.
Yeah,
and it'll hit the.
I'll have to double.
It'll hit the aluminum. That's why I actually doubled them up because of that. Yeah. So let's move on to yours. What is your selection?
This knife has been on the channel already.
Yes.
We did a review on it, but it is the Emerson Sgian.
Yes.
It's just a really narrow profile.
Yep.
It's a very elegant blade, conversation piece. This knife is not the easiest knife to find. They released it. It was a limited time thing. I'm not even sure. I know right now you can't find it.
Right.
Maybe they'll release more. I'm not sure. But it's just I
love it.
It's a great knife.
It really is. And, he's cut through lots of chicken with this knife. And so when we have our Friday night cigar stuff, which actually, we're gonna do some live stuff for you guys. And we'll announce some of that. And we'll do some Friday night cigar stuff coming soon. We got some pretty positive response. We asked people would be interested, and I think COVID really taught us the importance of community and being together, and that's really important. It's actually Case's theme this year, but that's Case Knives is that theme, better together, and that's true. We need to do community stuff like that.
It'll be an open discussion kind of forum. We're just sitting around smoking cigars and talking about knives. So join us. Keep an eye out.
Some goofy stories and having a good time.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this is a wonderful design. They nailed the sheath. I mean, it's a small sheath. It's thin. It has a very low sort of impression in the pocket. It's weathered. It's a little beat up. It's got nicks. I mean, they just did a really great job. Emerson really, really killed it here. I don't know if you can find one, but this is just a great example of a gentleman carry knife.
And it's got a great heat treat. So talking about heat treats and hardness levels and all that. That's Emerson's kind of legendary 154 cm. With their heat treat, because I've used it to eat with, the edge got rolled and we were able to...
It came back so easy. Yeah. It was not a problem. And you know what? Look, if you hit a ceramic plate or something like that, you're going to roll your edge no matter what the knife is because, quite frankly, that's, hardness is a lot higher.
I can't tell you how many times I've used a plate now as a ceramic rod.
Yeah, exactly. And that's one of the things I said to Josh. Like, every time you eat, and I said to my brother as well, you swipe with the edge along the edge of that plate. So long as it's a nice, reasonably smooth plate, which most plates are, you basically just go right with it like this, and you just scrape along, and it'll pull that edge right back to a fine convex.
I chose this because it is a small footprint. It's got that cool Sgian design. It's a conversation piece. When you pull this out, many people are going to be kind of interested as to what it is. And if you're a knife guy, you're not familiar with the knife, you're going to be blown away that it's Emerson.
Yeah.
That's my gentleman carry.
Totally cool. And this is the budget. So, for like $50, this is a Brisa Erapuu. I don't know what it is, but basically I got this, I believe, from DLT, and it has a really, really cool design. This is Antler.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Is this an African blade?
No. This is a, I don't know. It's one of those little bushcraft blades,
interesting.
Right? And so we'll look at.
It kind of looks like a Mora blade.
Yeah, it has that same kind of a feel. But what I like about it is it's all handmade. It came sharp, which I haven't done a cut test on it, but
Yeah, I'd say it's sharp.
yeah, not a problem. And it has just a really neat retention, right? Kind of like a samurai sword would, right?
Well, in the pocket, it's not going to be. It's not going to look like a knife when you pull that out.
Yeah,
It
and
kind of
then
looks like a cigar
you
case.
pull the little lanyard rope here, and that holds the tension so it doesn't come loose. See that? And when you want to pull it out, you relieve the tension. You draw the knife, right? And then it doesn't get lost.
Only thing about that, I think, is this hanging down would kind of become cumbersome.
Well, perhaps so, but for simple tasks and stuff like that,
Right.
I think it'll work fine. And if you were holding it, you could just put it in line like this, like a little chain
Yeah,
link,
that's an interesting
right?
knife.
Tighten it up a little bit. It's just weird, but it was so inexpensive.
But listen,
It's so neat,
if
and
you-
it's antler. It's real elk antler.
if you need a knife and you've got a briefcase or let's say you're wearing a jacket, like this knife is very discreet.
It's a cool conversation piece. It's very discreet. It's small, has a decent edge. You can eat with it, do whatever you needed to do, and it's pretty inexpensive.
I mean, guys,
It's it's antler.
cigar knife.
That is it, right? It's rustic, but it's still smooth and well finished, and
Right.
has a polished blade, and it's a conversation piece. It has a lot of detail with the little rope and everything, and the retention of it. It's a
Yeah.
cool knife, man. It is a really,
That's
really
very
cool
interesting.
knife. It is. I've never seen anything like it, and so I thought it was worth, picking that guy up and using that as a
Yeah.
as a
No, that's a
gentleman
great-
carry option for more budget.
Yeah. No
Because
doubt.
you wouldn't think that a handmade product that would be budget, but it is, and you can
So-
find that, I believe, at DLT.
And when
It's
you look at the
probably-
size, guys,
Yeah.
all of these are small.
I know.
I mean, these are both about the same height. This one's a little bit bigger, but that's really just the sheath. And when you just measure the sheath, it's the same height.
Yeah.
The knife sticks out a little bit, but
Well, hopefully Rockstead sees this. I would love to see Rockstead, even if you wanted to sell, this with an option for leather. $50-$60, who cares? I mean, it wouldn't take
Right.
much, right? They have leather in their inventory. It would be nice to have ironwood with a nice leather to match it. That's my only feedback on this knife.
I mean, granted, that's got the Emerson logo, but I mean it's not far off.
I know.
Yeah, I think that would really elevate that.
It would.
to have some.
It would.
leather.
Yeah, it should. Even like I said, it costs more. I get it, but when you're spending this much on this little of a knife, it's not about the cost.
Right.
You want the leather, but Gromit's Leathercraft will take care of that. And when I get it back, maybe we'll do an update or something and let you see it. But you'll definitely see it on Instagram. But it will be fire when I get it back from them.
Yeah.
So wonder what color stitching I should use.
I don't know.
Let us know in the comments below when I get the leather sheath made for this. Maybe if you have a style idea or
Cream.
yeah, maybe, right? I mean, it's weird because it's like this reflective black, dark bluish, blackish, grayish gunmetal.
Maybe you just keep it, something that kind of goes along the lines of the knife, since it's kind of a high-end knife. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it'd be neat to see what kind of stitching I use with it. But
If
there
you're
you
not
go.
following us on Instagram, make sure you do so at the clip point.
Yes, we have cool pictures of all this cool stuff. So there you go. That is our suggestion from high-end, mid to
Yeah.
budget.
That's what we
on
have anyway.
Gentleman fixed blade. Well, and I searched a long time to kind of find that narrow focus.
Right. Because these
You're
aren't tactical blades. These
Yeah.
are hunting blades. We're not skinning game with this.
You're going to find some other stuff out there, but you're going to find you may have to give up a little bit of something to get that gentleman fixed blade. It's not really something that happens that often. So.
Yeah. And listen, and I know actually GEC would make a great gentleman fixed blade probably. It's some of the ones that we've seen, like the one you have.
Yep.
But and we know that there's going to be the people out there that's in the camp of, well,
And
why would I
But
buy?
it doesn't come with a sheath.
Right. Why would I buy a fixed blade to carry gentlemanly when I can carry a case or a GEC folder or whatever. We get that.
It's the depth of the game.
Right.
It's the depth of the game. Everybody is at a different place in the game, and there's nothing wrong with being shallow or super deep. But this is going a little deeper in the game. But, at like $50 or so, you don't have to go super duper deep in the game to say, maybe I would like to have a little fixed blade just because I want it, just because I like it, just because it's cool. The cool factor.
Well, and again, some people prefer fixed blades. It is what it is. Mm-hmm. But guys, let us know in the comments below.
Yeah, tell us what you think.
Yeah, and what would you carry? What would be ideal gentleman fixed blade for you?
Yeah.
Or maybe you have one. Let us know.
Let us know. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, and we'll see you on the next one.
Stay sharp.
Stay sharp.